In 2018, the ground in Kenya opened up. A massive crack split highways and consumed farmland in days. According to scientists monitoring the East African Rift, this wasn't an isolated incident. Africa is splitting in two, and what's happening right now is the opening act of a transformation that will reshape an entire continent. I'm Alex Arnold, and welcome to Arnie's Brain Train. Before we get going, there's a couple of disclaimers we need to get out of the way. First and foremost, I am using AI images I'm sure you've already noticed. Secondly, it's inevitable that somebody is going to disagree with something that I have to say. To both of these groups, I say this: I don't really care. This video and this channel is here to present information and facts. So if that's not for you, maybe this channel isn't for you. For everyone else that's still here, today we're investigating why the ground keeps opening up across East Africa, what's driving these events, and why scientists say this is only the beginning. All of my sources are linked in the description or in the pinned comment below so you can check out everything for yourself. With all of that said, buckle up, all aboard, and let's get going. What's happening now isn't Africa's first time going through this process. To understand what's happening now, we need to go back 50 million years. The Middle East as we knew it didn't exist. Arabia was still attached to Africa. The Red Sea wasn't there, and the Persian Gulf didn't exist. It was all just one continuous landmass. Then, something happened 400 miles beneath the surface. Superheated rock began rising from Earth's mantle, a plume of molten material massive enough to rip a continent apart. The Arabian Plate began separating from the African Plate. Volcanic activity along the rift zone was intense. A chain of volcanoes formed along the split, erupting over millions of years and reshaping the landscape. This created what we now call the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. According to research published in Nature Geoscience, this rifting was driven by the Afar mantle plume, a column of heat from Earth's interior pushing the plates apart at roughly 2.5 centimeters per year. In geological terms, that's super fast. Today, the Red Sea is still widening. Arabia has completely separated and joined Asia, creating the Middle East as we know it. And here's what matters: the same process that created the Red Sea is happening again. The ground opening in Kenya is part of the same pattern. The difference is that this time we're actually here to see it happen. The East African Rift System is a 3,700-mile fracture running from the Gulf of Aden through Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and beyond. This is where Africa is currently splitting in two. Scientists used to think this was a slow process playing out over millions of years. Then, in 2005, their understanding was changed. In Ethiopia's Afar region, a 35-mile-long crack, longer than Manhattan, opened in days. Not years, days. Scientists from the University of Rochester and Addis Ababa University documented it. The ground just tore itself apart. Then, 2018, Kenya. After heavy rains exposed weakened ground, another large fissure split a major highway and consumed farmland. Scientists monitoring the rift confirmed what the data was showing, that these events are accelerating. What used to happen once every few decades now happens every few years. This now brings us to Africa's volcanoes, because the cracks are just symptoms. The real story is happening below. The East African Rift is one of the most volcanically active zones on the planet. 3 volcanoes tell the story. Mount Nyiragongo in the Democratic Republic of Congo, home to the world's largest lava lake. This volcano has erupted dozens of times, and its lava flows at speed of up to 60 miles per hour. In 2002, it sent lava through Goma, destroying 15% of the city and displacing over 120,000 people. According to the Goma Volcano Observatory, the lava lake has been refilling. Scientists say this is only the beginning of a new eruptive cycle. Oldoinyo Lengai in Tanzania, the Mountain of God in Masai. It's the only active volcano on Earth that erupts nitrocarbonatite lava, a unique substance that looks black when molten but it turns white when it cools. Scientists don't fully understand why this volcano is so unique, but they know that it's a key indicator of what's happening beneath the rift. And finally, Mount Kilimanjaro. Africa's tallest mountain is actually three volcanic cones stacked on top of each other, sitting right on the rift zone. It's dormant, but dormant doesn't mean extinct. These volcanoes exist for a reason. And no, I don't mean like some higher power reason. As the African plate stretches and thins, magma rises from the mantle to fill the gaps. According to a 2020 study in Geophysical Research Letters, GPS measurements show the rift widening at 6 to 7 millimeters per year, and the process is accelerating. What's happening is pretty straightforward. The continent is sitting on top of another massive mantle plume, the same type that split Arabia away. This superheated column is pushing upward, stretching the crust until it cracks. The cracks in Kenya and Ethiopia are just the beginning, which leads to an obvious question: what's coming next? Scientists monitoring the East African rift are tracking three main threats. First, earthquakes. The region experiences thousands every year. Most are too small to feel, but not all. In 2020, seismic swarms in the Afar region included hundreds of tremors over several weeks as magma moved beneath the surface. Scientists say that this pattern will continue for thousands of years to come. Second, we have more ground openings. The cracks in Kenya and Ethiopia are normal for this process, but they're becoming more frequent. What geologists used to observe once every few decades now happens every few years. Surface ruptures will become increasingly common across the rift zone as time passes. And third, volcanic eruptions. The stakes are high. Nyiragongo threatens a city of 2 million people. Scientists tracking magma movements have identified dozens of volcanic systems showing increased activity. We're at the beginning of what could be centuries of heightened volcanic activity along the rift. But let's zoom out for a second. All of these events, the cracks, the earthquakes, the eruptions, are all part of a larger process. In 5 to 10 million years, East Africa will likely be a separate island continent. A new ocean will flood the Rift Valley, connecting the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. The ground opening in Kenya is the first chapter of a story that will take millions of years to complete. The new coastline will create a smaller Africa, and a new continent geologists call Nubia on the west and Somalia on the east. Cities like Addis Ababa, Nairobi, and Kampala, currently landlocked, could become coastal port cities. Now, you might be thinking, why should I care about any of this? You just said this was millions of years away. Well, here's why. Understanding these things helps us better predict things like earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and disasters that actually affect people today. The cracks opening now, the earthquakes this year, the volcanic threats this month are all part of a larger process. Knowing it's only the beginning helps us to prepare and to protect lives. But here's another reason, and this is the big one to me. You're getting to witness geological history in real time. Most people never get to see this. The ground beneath your feet, the continents, the oceans, none of it is permanent. Everything changes, and we're actually getting to live through one of those changes. As always, let's connect everything and summarize what we learned today. 50 million years ago, Arabia ripped away from Africa through volcanic activity and plate tectonics, creating the Red Sea and reshaping the Middle East. Scientists studying that ancient split see the same patterns in East Africa today. The ground that opened in Kenya and Ethiopia isn't isolated. It's part of the East African Rift System, actively splitting the continent along a 3,700-mile fracture. The cracks are appearing more frequently, earthquakes are intensifying, and volcanic activity is increasing. This isn't something that we can stop. This isn't global warming or anything like that. This is plate tectonics, the same force that created every mountain range and ocean on Earth. Scientists say Africa's transformation isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. In millions of years, our descendants will look at maps showing two separate landmasses where Africa once stood. They'll trace it back to this time, in this era, when the ground first started opening. In the end, the planet does what it wants, following laws of physics that don't care about borders or cities. And we're getting to live through the opening chapter of one of Earth's greatest transformations. Well, everybody, that's where we'll park the train today, and that's what scientists are saying about the ground opening in Africa. And this is only the beginning. Remember, all of the sources that I have, as always, are listed in the description and in the pinned comment below, so you can check out everything for yourself. This has been Arnie's Brain Train, where we take complex puzzles and turn them into adventures. If you want to help me improve on any aspect of these videos, graphics, pacing, specific topics, let me know in the comments, don't be shy. And subscribe and help me grow this channel into something great. Remember, the world isn't always this simple, but it's always this interesting. Thanks for riding the Brain Train, and I'll see you next time. Bye.